Hello, good afternoon. Apologies, we're late. We've had an important interview I had to do. It's not with a footballer or anything, but it's really important. The messaging, massively important. With two fellas that didn't shut up.
Well, one in particular that didn't shut up.
Yeah, they're brilliant, and you should watch it and you should support the cause.
Great stories.
But it went on a bit longer than I thought. And then YouTube has been massively playing up, and I don't understand why, but it looks like we're up and running. So I apologise for us late. John is with me in the studio. Manchester City tomorrow, John. David Moyes has given his press conference this morning. He said that Branthwaite and Rowell are back on the grass.
He did.
But no one sort of pushed them on what that meant.
No.
So I would suggest neither will be involved tomorrow. I might be wrong on that, but be a bit of
certainly
surprise.
Certainly Branthwaite's all over Everton socials, training.
Yeah.
But as you rightly say, we don't know what that means.
No. And no one asked him about, although he didn't sort of say there was an issue with Michael Keane, but no one asked him about Michael Keane, did they, of course.
Although he offered that Patterson was injured, implying
that Keane's probably all right.
Yeah.
So, probably similar to what we had last time. Grealish out Dewsbury all back, but everyone else is probably similar to what we had at the last game. You'll be heading up to Manchester.
I will.
To watch it. What are your feelings going into it? It's not a ground. Don't think we've won there for
ever
15 years now. I think 14 years. They have been quite good in the majority.
They're not bad, are they?
But what are you sort of feeling tomorrow?
I'm a bit unsure, to be honest, because on one level you can look at them and say they're sort of getting their mojo back, and that everyone should expect to lose to them type of thing, right? I think if you take Haaland out that team, it's perhaps less scary. Well, not perhaps, it's a lot less scary. So if he's on one tomorrow, I think, if I'm bluntly honest, I can only see one outcome, which is how many do we lose by, right? But if Tar can shackle him, good. If he gets on Keane too much, it could get a bit messy. Yeah. So ever the optimist, I'd take a draw now. Wouldn't be surprised if we lost. Therefore, it's back around performances again, isn't it? I think we can compete. I think we've got, particularly offensively, we can trouble anyone. I don't think they're the greatest at the back these days. So let's see how the manager sets us up. I think if he sets up to, park the bus type thing, then it could get very messy, because I think they pull us around a bit. But let's see. I'll be there. Ever the optimist, and seconds before kick-off, I'll expect us to win.
Of course. Yeah. I don't think we can play any other way against them other than parking the bus, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
I think if it's too open, it will get
I don't
messy.
want us to be too open. Ever want us to be too open.
But I think that's the problem. I just don't feel... Well, we're not. We're nowhere near their level. That's just a fact.
Oh, absolutely.
Just a fact.
No, I agree that.
And therefore, I still look at it and think, we don't have any real direct pace. So therefore, that's another issue, which I banged on all summer about.
No, I agree.
So we have got to be cautious. And don't forget,
But more of the same, as you said, said, from a selection point of view, that's not... I know Grealish isn't there, but, KDH coming in and having the same team. It's not particularly a team to park the bus type team, is it? So there's a balancing act there between, and you're quite right, let's not be too open. So we might spend most of the time nearer to our goal, but we've got to make use then, particularly if Betto starts, and the manager referenced him, didn't he? His work ethic and all that, but literally he has to get back to doing what he did before last season, that is, which is running at people, getting himself into those one-on-one type situations and showing what a good finisher he is. That requires us to play to that strength, and maybe because they will dominate the ball, maybe there may be more opportunities like that than our normal style of play, which is a bit, it's not slow, but it always gives the opposition time to get behind the ball, doesn't it? So
yeah, again, we had last season, we went there expecting a drubbing, because it was in that December where we were terrible, weren't we?
Yeah.
With the other fella, and we got a draw out of it. And although they were comfortably the better side on the day, we had 2 chances at the end to win it and made the wrong choice twice. The Corey and Brien made the wrong decision twice when we should have really scored and won it at the end, which would have been daylight robbery, but would have been hilarious at the same time.
And they've had games this season where the battered teams and not got anything out of it.
Spurs, they battered Spurs at home, got beat 3-0.
Yeah.
You know, because Spurs were brilliant on the counter.
That's
brilliant.
right, yeah.
And Brighton, they should have put the game to bed comfortably. But
They should.
There's another team not too far away from us who've got out of jail a few times this season by hanging in and then scoring late goals and winning it. And I think Everton have got the players to do that. It's just a very difficult game. And if we can get through the opening 20-25 minutes and feel our way into the game, then why not? Why not? You know, teams occasionally have a shock result. Everton don't have it very often.
And that's the ones getting it, yeah.
That's something that we have to change as we move forward. One where people go, I didn't see that coming. Now, for us, I didn't see that coming. Has been a draw over the last few years, because even in that December last year, as bad as we were, we also went to bleeding Emirates and got a 0-0 as well. So we had 2 draws at arguably 2 of the hardest away games going, and we didn't lose in either of them. So, you know, we've done it in the past. Just got to hang on in there. When you've got Ndiaye, who scored a cracking goal there last year, Hughes Brioli, who's been brilliant for us. You know, you've got those players in your squad. Then you never know what happens. You're right, Betto, if he starts, and I think he will. He's got to be a handful for those 2. He can't walk around a bit frustrated the way he has done in some games. Yeah. He's got to be more of the Betto we saw in the second half against Palace. The Betto that we saw having a cob on when he come on against Brighton and decided to knock them about a bit, because that's the Betto we saw in the second half of the season, in the majority of the games. Not all of them, but in the majority of the games.
And he's a handful when he's doing that.
When he's doing that, he is. And you know what? It might be tomorrow without Jack Grealish, that were a little bit more direct, play some balls in behind. I know we work it to, I mean, Grealish is fantastic. But tomorrow might be, can we get better on a run early? Can we turn them and see if he can get in behind and then see how they cope? Now, Guardiola and Ruben Diaz are brilliant. They are brilliant players, but let's give them something to think about. Let's knock them about a bit, and then make sure we support. In terms of the team that was played against Palace, we've already said Jack Grealish can't play. Dewsbury Hall didn't play. Therefore, he'll come back in, let's just say, instead of Grealish.
Sure.
What do you think will happen with Tyler Dibbling? Because he started against Palace and was withdrawn at half-time. He didn't have a great game. And Alcaraz came on a half-time and had a really good game and was a key component in how we won the game. So what do you think the manager will go with? Do you think the manager will bring Alcaraz in at the expense of Dibbling, or will he leave Dibbling in?
I think the more typical decision for David to make would be to start Alcaraz.
Yeah.
The bolder one might be to start Dibbling. Yeah, because there will be a bit more space, right? He might have given a bit of a talking to, because I think you were generous with your description of his first half performance. Yeah, it wasn't as good as you said, sort of thing from my eyes. And put him in an environment where the manager can see whether he's listened or not. Is it a safer environment than at home? No. What would it do to the lad if he was hooked twice? You know, wouldn't be very good. So he'll come down, I think, on balance to start Alcaraz.
Yeah, I think he'll play.
Yeah.
I don't. Me personally, I don't think.
I'd start Alcaraz.
There's zero chance of Dibbling.
I'd start Alcaraz.
Yeah, I wouldn't play Dibbling, to be fair. He'd be on the bench for me.
Yeah, and you bring him on though, wouldn't you?
No, he's got to come on, even regardless of what the score is. If 4-0 down or 1-0 up or whatever, you're looking to get him on the pitch because you're trying to integrate him into it. A team, and I think Ped said it yesterday, or Was it Ped? We were
Preview,
talking
maybe?
about. Is there an opportunity, or will there, someone might have asked the question actually, will there become a time where the manager becomes frustrated with Betto and Barry and goes for Ndiaye through the middle, and therefore leaving a space for either Alcaraz to come in the team or Dibbling to come in, and have Ndiaye as the striker, Dibbling and Grealish? And that might have to.
I think that's absolutely a fair question, and the manager has given clues, hasn't he, to how his thinking's going in and around that. He's literally saying to Betto, I know you've got it, and he's clearly talking about attitude, because he references attitude in training and almost is saying, well, you need to do that in the game as well, right? We don't know where Barry's at, do we? In his thinking, and Alcaraz has to demonstrate, I think, that he can have that impact on a game when he starts.
Yeah.
Right. So there's things to be seen there, isn't there? And I think it would be fascinating if he, and it's up to those players ultimately to make him have a harder decision than he's currently got. You know, if the manager's sitting there whatever he talks to about starting 11s and stuff, and one of them pops up and says, "What about this?" And he thinks, "Yeah, you know, and Ndiaye never lets me down. I've seen all the efforts when he's come off the bench, Alcaraz or Dibbling or both or whatever, and think, yeah, there may be a game out there where he tries it." Particularly, I mean, how long do you go? You can't flip-flop between the two strikers, and yet neither of them really, in performance terms, have justified saying, it's my shirt, the other fella has to get it off me.
Yeah.
Right? But ultimately, he can't keep going to the well, can he? And it come back the same way. I mean, we know how the other fella dealt with it. Just keep playing the guy who's totally out of form and not producing and never change anything. And I think part of, again, what the manager said today is it's a game where you use your subs. Not this game, the game,
yeah.
right? And therefore, he wants players who, when they do come on, they make a difference. So now you're saying, well, Mr. Dibbling, you know, you are on the bench. That's how far you've got. But you now need to be the guy puts on. And if Charlie sat next to you right now, the manager would think, I'll bring Charlie on. You know what I mean? Because he's done the impact thing for me before. And then Charlie wants an upgrade, doesn't he, from being the man who comes on as an impact player and the man who starts a game, right? And
fair sub.
And you said, and you've said pre-season, you need to get it. The players need to get the manager into a situation where he per se doesn't have a starting 11. He has 13 or 14, 15 players who all think they're good enough to start, and he agrees with them.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know, and therefore it then doesn't become an issue when you're on the bench, because it just means the other guy's been that bit of a % better than you this week, and therefore you need to try harder next week, and so on, right? And so if he's building that and building into that, that's good. And so we'll find out.
It's going to be interesting. The Branthwaite thing, I wouldn't touch him tomorrow.
No.
I think he'll be back in alongside Tarkowski next Sunday against Spurs.
Does that mean you have him on the bench this?
I wouldn't. Yeah. What's the point?
No.
I'd
not
leave
unless
him.
He's going to get minutes.
Yeah, I'd leave him. I'd give him another week or so and let him really get up to full fitness.
So go straight in.
Then he'll be back in against Spurs.
Yeah.
Because we need our best team out, best 11 out there.
Sure.
And that's an opportunity to keep that momentum going at home. And we're a better team with Branthwaite. Good as Keane's done.
It's still Michael Keane.
It's Branthwaite's better, and that's the basis. Like Jack Grealish will be straight back in the team next week, regardless of how we do tomorrow.
Yeah, indeed.
That's football. So Branthwaite for me would just be left till next Sunday, at the earliest.
Now you'd expect, wouldn't you, over time, and maybe that time will come once Branthwaite's fit, that Michael becomes fourth choice centre back again, does he?
Well, he is fourth choice centre back, isn't he? He's playing because we haven't got a right back.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Otherwise, O'Brien would be playing. Yeah. So all the focus shifts to needing the right back then, doesn't it? If Seamus keeps performing, you know, who knows? Seamus has just had 2 really good games for Ireland. If Jake O'Brien doesn't...
And he's had good games at centre back.
And he has had good games at centre back for Ireland and did well against Palace. It could be, you know, used to say Seamus doesn't knock Jake out of the odd game at home. I don't know. But Patterson being injured again, which, I think for him, probably January can't come quick enough for him. Maybe he just needs the break from Everton, because no matter what he does and doesn't do, it's not working, is it? True. Even when he starts getting games, he gets injured. So it's just not, whatever's happened there, whoever's cursed him when he come in, maybe Rangers fans put a curse on him, who knows, right? Yeah. Who knows? It's just not going to happen for him here, no. And therefore he probably needs a fresh start, so that there's nobody is judging him. He's just coming in from a different club and going into a new club, and people will take him as they find him, and that might be a good thing for him.
And mentally, that's easier for him to deal with. He might, and surely he does. He sees that the hill to climb into our team is way too steep, and probably too long as well.
But that's it.
He'd be out of contract before.
Yeah, I just don't think he. I think for me, it's
just.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do it here.
No, ditto.
So that's it. But yeah, I think Brantwaite will be back in next Sunday, and we'll build from there with him. And then it'll be up to Seamus then to push Jake O'Brien out of that right back spot, or up to Jake to go back up to the level he was at last season there. But ultimately, Everton are looking for a right back, and then we'll see.
Might be a pushing Jan for that, do you think?
Yeah, I do. We linked again with Wanlu yesterday from Sevilla, whether Pato's agent can get that fired up again for January, who knows? So maybe that might do him the world of good, even leaving the country and going to play in a different league. Halali, I like personally. Everton tried to get him in August on deadline day, or September it was, wasn't it? First, but couldn't. But he's an interesting one. Good age as well. Not amazing, but he's a good age and can develop.
Not great.
Oh, yeah. So
on a big centre back.
Well, that's it, isn't it? That's the thing. Mark Holdie says, roll on the bench, Baz. What do you think? I honestly don't know, mate, because I don't know how much training he's done. If he's done a full week, then he probably will. But especially Patterson's injured, so he's not on the bench.
Yeah.
So that might open the door for Mail and Roll to go back on the bench. Hopefully he is, because if he's had a good week's training, then he should be on the bench. He's only ever going to be sub anyway right now, while he tries to play his way in. So, and I think it'd do him good as well.
It would.
To be back in the squad. So it's going to be. There's a few positions. Well, a couple of positions tomorrow that are going to be key, and the other one will be Dyche, because someone just said King Sean Dyche at Forest. The other position is obviously Betto or Barry, isn't it, as the striker? I guess if you go and ignore what's happened on international duty and just go back to Palace with Betto, he made a difference when he come on. So he gets the share tomorrow. Then it's up to Thier now
to do the same.
Come on and do what the other. It seems lately, I've said this again a few times, it seems lately that the sub striker does better than the starting striker, which is weird. But maybe that's just where we are right now.
Yeah.
And it's up to one of them. But again, that's why I think if one of them doesn't grab the mantle of being Everton's starting striker, the manager might look and go, right, and try and Ndiaye through the middle. Something totally different.
Yeah.
Something different. You two sit on the bench and we're going to give this lad a go. Why not?
Especially if other players give him selection decisions. Yeah.
Well, that's it. Dibbling could be on fire in training. He's going, I've got to find a way to get him in the starting 11, or Alcaraz.
Yeah.
And the only way I'm not dropping Illy, because he's a goal threat. So the only way I'm doing is putting the main goal threat through the middle. And we'll almost, it's not a false nine, because he can sort of occupy that space. We're going to go with him through the middle, and we're going to have a different player on the right, or, Alcaraz, whatever. And that may be the way but we have to do it. I think the other thing that's interesting, is where Dewsbury Hall plays tomorrow. I think tomorrow I will play him on the left, and I'd have Alcaraz in the 10 or a part of the midfield, because I think Alcaraz driving forward.
He's got energy as well, hasn't he?
And he's one of the only ones who does drive forward, and he does slide Betto in.
Yeah.
That's what we saw last season, and we are going to have to be a little bit sort of careful with what we do tomorrow. But that could be a way for us to get at them. Have Alcaraz occupying the pockets of space in around Betto, and have Dewsbury Hall naturally left-footed, playing in front of Mykolenko, doubling up on that side, and then have Illy on the other side, O'Brien. But when we break those three, they're breaking with Alcaraz joining in, and that might be a way to get at City, you know. But we'll see.
So the manager does have options, with some decisions to make.
Well, he does. He does. I just think
it's good because in recent times, the managers here haven't, or they've thought they didn't have options. David definitely does have.
See, I just think if we go back to Dewsbury Hall in the middle, and he's done well there, don't get me, you know, he's been one of Everton's best players this season, and we shove Alcaraz on the left, then Alcaraz plays so centrally anyway. There's no one on the left. He naturally just comes in field. That's not really A, helping out Mykolenko, and B, giving us what we need. No. Where Dewsbury Hall will go and stay out there. The left foot, naturally, will want to go on the outside, put a ball in the box, 1-2s, being clever. I think tomorrow it works with Dewsbury Hall left.
Yeah.
And Alcaraz in the middle.
And as we've talked about before, you know, managers generally want to minimise the changes. You know, people now gone, so we'll all do it, don't we? They'll be in WhatsApp groups saying what they do. And some of them will end up with 2, 3, 4 changes of either personnel or position. And it's just, the manager's just thinking about one.
Yeah. Well,
I've lost a player who would start. Who shall I put in that role?
Well, it'll be two. Me personally, I think it'll be 2 changes. I think Grealish out, obviously, it's got to be, no question. Not even a change. That, but Dewsbury Hall's available, so we just put, and he's in. Yeah. And the manager's choice will be Alcaraz or Dibbling, and I think he'll go for Alcaraz.
I'm with you.
So,
well, 3 changes then, because he'll start Betto, only because he started Barry last time.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. BH13 says, the perfect scenario, Dyche goes to Forest and we offload Patterson and McNeil to them in January. I don't think Patterson will be in a rush to follow Sean Dyche anywhere. Anywhere, even if it was the only team in the land. I think Pato would retire if it was rather that than play for Sean Dyche. But McNeil would obviously love to go with them, wouldn't he? But yeah. Alcaraz is better in the middle, Mark. When he's played wide, he's not in the game enough. But through the middle, he's way better. And that's what we're trying to do, aren't we? We're trying to give lads the chance to perform to the best of their level. Yes, Charlie will go and play wide for you and work, but you want him driving through the middle. We saw that against Crystal Palace. Adam Wharton had his slippers on in the first half. And then the minute Alcaraz come on and started running after him, he didn't sort of know what was going on.
It's true.
So, yeah, that's why he's got to be. Craig says first half strikers don't really work that well because of how crap Everton start. I'm not sure of whether we start crap in every game. But I get your point, Craig. I get your point. I think it's getting people round our strikers is the issue.
It is.
And Grealish has been amazing, but I do think we do need to stop relying on him and mix it up a little bit more.
Loves the ball a bit too much as well.
He does. It'd be better and better for our strikers if we had overlapping fullbacks, and we've said that many times, haven't we?
Yeah.
That changes it. Yeah. Simple as. And the manager's alluded today to the reason why we haven't got Betto going yet, and maybe this applies to Tierno Barry as well, is not playing the right way to them. If you go and watch Barry's goals for Villarreal, crosses into the box, we don't really cross the ball as much. And it's the little give and go and spin in behind and play a ball, but we don't tend to do that. We tend to work it across and then out to Grealish. And then them opportunity, or Ndiaye, because Ndiaye does the same. Ndiaye hogs the ball on the other side. So we're not playing to a striker who wants something early or a ball across. Whereas if I'm David Moyes, I'd be looking and going, right, let's get it wide and put balls into the box. Not every time, sometimes face them up, but if you can, get half a yard and put it in. Get half a yard and put it in. How did we score the winner against Palace? Illy dropped the shoulder, stood it up. Betto attacks the ball and Grealish gets a block on him. A good and fortuitous save by Henderson from Betto, but Betto still should have scored. It was a good header. He headed it down, but he should have not given the keeper any chance of getting it. But it was a little drop of the shoulder ball in. When we scored against Brighton, the first game at home, Grealish just drops the shoulder and fires it across. And I get on the end of it and does. Wolves away, Grealish just pops it back into the space. Betto puts it in. Then Dewsbury Hall just gets wide, puts it across, and we've got Ndiaye with the tapping. They're the goals. That's how we should be scoring goals. Lately, we've been slowing everything down. Everything on both sides. So we've got to play a little bit quicker. But I think we do that.
I saw something the other day, it might have been yesterday, the CIS Observatory who do all the analysis stuff.
Okay.
And they'd done, in partnership with some data company, an analysis of key areas of the game, right, over the last 6 months in all the European domestic leagues, and then produce like little tables about who were the best players doing that sort of stuff. In the aerial attack category, it was the only category where Everton had players, i.e. both Betto and Barry in aerial attack in the top 50 in Europe. And as you just said, we don't feed them enough.
No.
So play to your strengths, you know, and some of that, and you're right, and Ndiaye popped that up. And Betto arrived at exactly the right time, from a distance, with pace, did perhaps what he's been coached forever to do, headed it down, and the keeper, fortuitously, as you said, moved across, because he was moving across. But that should be happening multiple times in a game.
Yeah, it should be one.
You know,
one chance. Surely.
Yeah, should, you know, and of course you remember that he didn't score because there was only one. You were joking in a way. We talked about Haaland, you know, and you were so now he almost misses penalties because, you know, I'll score in a minute anyway. Cause, and it's that confidence thing that
when you're in a team,
if I get 2 chances, I'm going to score at least one of them.
If you're on the team and you think, I get 3 or 4 chances a game,
I'm going to score 1 or 2
you miss the first one or the first 2, you relax.
One along in a minute.
If you're playing in a team and you get 1 chance a game on average, and I've got to score, and you miss it, your head goes down because you think, I probably won't get another opportunity. And sometimes you might, but your head's gone. Whereas the best strikers, obviously playing in the best teams, or teams who create chances, you're more relaxed. You think, I'll just get another one in a minute. Relax. And that's it. And then invariably you score goals and things go in off your arse and hit you and go in and all of that stuff, you know, because you're confident and you're playing well. You're not snatching at things. When you're not scoring, when you're not getting chances, you snatch at things. And
I think we talked about this during last season, I think, about Haaland. He misses more chances than anyone else in the league.
Yeah.
But he gets so many. He scores a huge volume of goals anyway.
That's it.
So
mad. James Graham says, is he planning on playing McNeil? He seemed to talk him up a bit. I didn't see it talking him up. I heard a bit of a public.
He's here.
You need to step up.
Yeah.
You need to step up. That's what I heard, not talking him up. He was sort of saying, a year ago he was important to Everton. The fact nobody is saying, just bring McNeil in on the left, tells you how far his stock's fallen.
And he was only answering a question, wasn't
he? So it's up to Dwight to step back up. It's any player. You've got to step up. Hopefully the days are gone now at our club where it's just a manager's favourite, and no matter what you do, you play. That can't be. That no football club does well with that, where if you're just in every week regardless. And this was my gripe with Dyche, with Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
Whether he's miles better than Betto or marginally better than Betto
outcomes,
or not as good as Betto, if your centre-forward goes 4.5 months without a goal, or 5 months, whatever it was, he shouldn't be starting. His job is literally to score goals. Right now, you can play really well and do a great job for the team for a few weeks without scoring, and that's fine. The team winning and all that. And if Everton had been winning most weeks in them 4.5 months, I'd still be criticising Dom, as a lot of people would, but I'd also be saying, but he's playing a really important role. Wasn't scoring. And strikers live for goals. They live for scoring goals. And therefore, you have to help them. 3 or 4 games without a goal, you're out the team. For your own good, as well as the team's good. It might be to light a fire off your backside.
Yeah.
It might be just to release a little bit of pressure on you. To go, okay, have a little breather. This is difficult. You know, eyes are on you. Everything stops with you. Like the goalkeeper. Yeah. Keeper makes a mistake, it's all on the keeper. Centre forward misses a goal, it's all on the striker. Other positions, you can get it. Midfield, you can get away with. Run around, put tackles in, or pass it a yard and get it. You know, go full Adam Wharton, pass it a yard and get 96% passing accuracy, and everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Right? full-back, just work hard and put tackles in. But centre-forward and goalkeeper,
what's this last column here? Yeah.
There's nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to hide. If the buck stops with you. Now, if you're winning as a striker, you can, and a keeper make a mistake, but you win 4-1, no one really talks about it. But they're at the fucking fairness, aren't they, at both ends? You're in the coals of the fire are there for you. So you get all applauded when you do well, and you get the criticism when you don't do well. And that's what you're playing on. So therefore, you have to, after a few games, help your players and go, you haven't scored in 5 games, come and sit with me. Have a little look at how the game, look at how we're playing. Not being in it and looking. Sit on the side and look how we're playing. I say this on a low level to Zach, so like we'll take players off and stuff because you're allowed to now in footy, and it was never like that in my day. You played the full game. But now
everyone has to have a go.
You're giving people a breather, and also they're playing on crazy big pitches as well. But we'll take him off for 10 minutes and I'll say to him, like, for the next 10 minutes, have a drink and have a look what their centre-backs are doing. Look at the space. Now, he might have scored 3 already, or he might have not scored. And I'm going, look at the guy. I say to all of our kids who are on the side, like, what your position? Have you got space? As a striker, you're sat there. Calvert-Lewin last year should have been, come and sit here. Look at the spaces you can occupy. What's Betto not doing that you're going to do? What are their defenders doing when that ball's knocked up? And things like you're giving them that breather to go, right, I'm going to get in and make a little run there, or, that defender, he's really weak when he's, and you get to assess the game. And that's what I think.
Management, mate.
Yeah, that's what it's about. And therefore, one of these two who are playing up front, this is what they should be doing. And for all I know, Moyes is saying it anyway, or one of the technical staff are saying, have a look. They've got to do it and then go and put that on the pitch. But one of them has got to go, I'm the man. And you're going to have to work hard to take this off me. Not, you're going to be in by default. And that comes back to Dwight. Dwight was in by default on some occasions. Other occasions, he was bang on in from 25 yards. No problem. Quality. But the minute someone comes in and you think, now this lad's good, you have to step up to the level. If you don't step up to the level, you're quickly playing under 21 game at Bradford City on a Wednesday, Tuesday night, whenever it was, because you haven't stepped up to the level. There's no... Alcaraz wasn't playing in under 21 game on Tuesday. Chermiti Barry wasn't playing in an under 21 game on Tuesday, was he? So quite clearly in training and everything else, they're demonstrating it. Now, me personally, if I'm in that position and I'm Chermiti Barry, I'm asking to play in that game. Get me a game, get me 90 minutes of footy, because I'm getting bits and pieces each week. But just overall, I'm talking about these players who aren't getting a go. And this is where I look at Patterson and think, come on, mate. You are better than you've shown. You are. You are. Like, and it might never work for, and it possibly won't ever work at Everton. But when you're in that position, you've got to drag yourself up. James Garner's done it. James Garner, last year, had some good displays and some ones that he'll think weren't at his level. But he got better last year. The year before, most people would have not cared about James Garner. In fact, he was getting shoehorned at right back to be an auxiliary right back, and people were like, yeah, he's probably better there. Even last year, people would have been looking, going, I'm not sure. Where does he get in? But then he got better and started his form become really good towards the end of the season. He's been excellent this season.
He has.
Gone up a level.
He has.
Right? And that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Now, Irabunum is there now. Irabunum's got good displays.
Less
and
good.
Ones where you're thinking, still a bit raw.
Yeah, and he shouldn't
grab
be.
It.
Yeah.
He's got to grab it. He's affected some games this season. And then other games he's been below. So he's got to sort of now drag himself up like James Garner, where you go, I can play him. I can play Irabunum at Man City and he'll be sound. He won't be miles away from it. And he'll be there. He might even be better because it clicks.
Yeah.
Because Irabunum physically is an athlete. You look at him and go, he's got really good physique. He's good, strong with the ball. his decision making needs to be quicker. That's what's letting him down right now. Thinks he's got more time than he has, but he's put it good tackler, can put a tackle in. Can he put it together? If he puts it all together, he'll go for another level, and people will start going, Irbunam's got to play.
Yeah.
Right now, you go, oh yeah, Tim's not bad off the bench, but you're still a bit like, how's he going to affect it? Irbunam has to be tomorrow, an hour in. Idrissa looks a bit tired. Irbunam, get him on. He'll. I know they're not the same player, but I'm just using him as an example. Merlin Roll's got to demonstrate that. Merlin Roll comes on and nothing drops, comes on and just affects it. And then a Garner should be fighting with James Garner and Idrissa Garner-Gay should be fighting with those other two. Can we get in them when Harrison comes back in the summer? And those are the challenges that you should be throwing down. Can them players get over them? And if not, you go and buy the next one in. And you buy the next one in. And sadly, the lads who were starting are now out the door. And that's what happens.
And all that applies in every industry in the world.
Everything.
You
everything.
know? And what you're describing there is literally, and the last bit's the most relevant for me, which is those people, Dwight McNeil, forget the manager for now, was an automatic starter.
Yeah.
Now he never gets near the start. No. And therefore...
Doesn't even get a minute in the Premier League.
Exactly. So either he's substantially deteriorated, or as you rightly said, James Garner's the perfect reference point, isn't he? If someone stepped over him, and went, I'm having that.
Yeah.
You know, and if you as a manager of anyone have got a reference point, when they come knocking on your door, bitching and whinging, you go, whoa, I'm impartial. I want the best players on the pitch. Look at him. He was where you were.
That's it, yeah.
And he's playing now. So, you know, or then when Tim has his little cameo and, you know, looks good, the manager goes, lads, I just need to see that all the time. We know it's there, right? And it's only you who can decide whether to make that run or not, or to keep going to the well, and so on and so forth. And they're the players I want. I want you to give me selection decisions. And, you know, people will be and I've got a mate who doesn't rate Ghana, for example. But anyway, it's an opinion thing.
Of course, yeah.
But you want to get to a position where you go, you know what? We don't need to give him another contract because this lad's chaffing at the bit and is 10 years younger, you know, and so on and so on and so forth. And that's where all those standards go up, isn't it?
I look and seeing someone saying Tierno Barry was on his holidays in the international break. He was posting pictures of him self-training and scoring goals and things like that. I think a few of them had days off, mate. I don't care who plays for Everton, really. I want them to be performing at the very best. If Michael Keane was better than Jared Brandtwaite, I'd want Michael Keane playing.
Of course.
If Mark Travers becomes better than Jordan Pickford, I'll want Mark Travers playing.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? I don't honestly care. Dwight McNeil's better than Jack Grealish. I'd want Dwight McNeil playing. I really don't care. I want players who work hard for us, of course, because that's the basic of anything, but have the quality and perform. Not bothered about what you've done in the past, because that's irrelevant. That's great to go, oh, remember I scored that goal and it was a cracker. You go, yeah. But you got to do it again and again. That's football. You have to keep doing it.
The last game,
you've got to keep doing it.
One way or another, the last game gets you a shirt for the next one.
That's it.
And that next one is where you get to keep it for the one after. And therefore, the flip-flopping, full circle, I suppose, to the number 9s, right? The flip-flopping between the two means it's still up for grabs. One of you needs to say, I'm having that, because guess what? At the current rate, and it goes back to Ndiaye thing, maybe both of us are losers.
Yeah.
Because he'll go for a third way. And heaven forbid those two strikers end up in a third way being the most successful outcome, because you ain't going to have two number 9s on the bench. You know, so then they're fighting for a bench position instead of a starting position. Now, it's great as the manager if you want that, if that happens, because it should have made them all raise their things, the levels. So
that's it, though. I mean,
and this Carl's is why it takes time, isn't it?
Carl's saying my point about him being on his holiday, he wasn't available for the under-20. He wouldn't have been asked to play in the under-21s, mate, because of his training. Apparently training really well. It's whether you carry... It's great training, really. I could probably train really well. I probably couldn't do it in the Premier League.
Yeah. But that's where the messaging comes for the Dwight McNeil. Yeah. You are in that because I don't think you're doing enough. So I'm actually putting you at a lower standard to see if you do it there. And the old days, you know, if you did that with a striker, he'd score a hat-trick, get taken off at half-time.
Of course,
and
he was
go,
done.
okay, you know,
He's
job
back
done.
on it, yeah.
You know?
But that's everyone.
If Dwight didn't perform like a full-on professional in that under-21 game, then he's not got the memo, has he?
But Arsenal, Patterson, you know, you go in there, you set an example to the young lads.
Exactly
I believe
right,
Jensen Metcalf was incredible when we let him go in the summer. So again, I'm not saying we should have kept him, because I'm just saying that you go in and you've got a job to do and you go and do it. And I'm like that with all of them.
Totally
to be
agree.
Perfectly honest. I mean,
Totally agree.
You know, Thierry Barry, I actually think he will come. I think he'll be a good player for Everton. I do. I think he's got the attributes. It's about getting the other bits right, and the other bits are easier to get right than the bits that he hasn't got. The bits
stuff he was born with,
is more.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're more difficult to teach. He's got to do the other stuff. Get a bit stronger. Get a little bit more resilient. You know, if a defender shoves you, he shoves you. It's a compliment. Someone's trying to shove you over and get it. They compliment you, aren't they? Can't get the ball any other way. So they got to drag you down into that level. You know, and he should be aware of this, training against Tarkowski every day. You know, Tarky's horrible. I love him. Love him, but he's horrible, isn't he? As we've seen him when he's played for Burnley. You know, so that's what it's about, being able to do that. But if I'm a manager, that's what I'm like. You're right. I'm going, you step up to this level. Don't knock on my door unless you're flying.
Yeah.
And I'm not playing you. If you're flying and I'm not playing you, then you can come in and go, why aren't I getting a game? Don't. You know, Thierry Barry couldn't knock with a straight face on David Moyes' door. Neither could Betto.
True.
Neither could Dwight McNeil.
True.
You know, neither could a few others. I like Timmy Abunin, but could he really knock and go,
no.
You're treating me unfairly here?
No.
He couldn't. Because they've got to be at the level, although Abunin has affected games. I think the one who's probably been the harshest treated so far is probably Alcaraz, really. Because I thought he'd done enough last season to be, but good players come in. So the level is, I've brought a good player in. Well, I'm going to get to that level then. Start doing it.
And the manager keeps bringing Alcaraz on and he keeps affecting games. He's doing his talk. Classic, cliched, doing his talking on the pitch. Not knocking on the door with a cup of coffee saying, hey, boss, can I play? Yeah. When you're good enough.
All you do is you make the manager think.
Yeah.
And so you can do, put something in his mind and make him think, I'm going to give you the go. You got to take it. If Alcaraz gets it tomorrow, then make it really difficult next Sunday against Spurs. Grealish is available. Grealish will play. So make it really difficult. And that really difficult might be, well, Charlie had a stormer there. Right? Maybe it is time to put Ndiaye through the middle.
Yeah.
To put him there, to keep him in the side somehow. How will he? That's what you got to do. Now, next Sunday, the manager might just go, Alcaraz was great at City last week, but Grealish is back in.
Yeah.
That might just be the way it is, because when all washes through, Grealish is a better player. That's what happens. But you've got to make sure the manager is thinking. I said to Ped yesterday, and it applies this tomorrow, regardless of the result, forget about the result. Almost. Everton have to go out and make sure City know they're in the game. Yes. If that washes through with a 1-0 defeat or a 2-1 defeat or something, and we've played quite well, and I know some people can't see the wood for the trees if we get beat. We're terrible. Regardless. This is Manchester City.
It's about performances.
But again, I said this yesterday. I don't know whether you'd agree, but I said this yesterday. For me, progress for me this season will be Everton being in most games, giving most teams a game and carrying a real threat where we don't worry about what it's going to... I feel like we're getting there. I do feel like even, again, I'm acutely aware I'm saying this the day before we play Manchester City, but in general, I feel like we're in every game.
Yeah.
We went to Anfield, league champions. We would sleep for half an hour, which is why the game was gone. And we clawed our way back into it. I thought we were the better team second half. We had a lot of the ball and they had very little in terms of shot. I think we only had one from Salah, which was a back pass, or certainly one on target. We got ourselves back into the game, just couldn't find enough. We'd give ourselves too much to do in the opening half an hour. But at least they come out of it and they were
hanging on.
3 minutes, come on. Nonsense. Should have been 7 or 8. But they were baying for the final whistle, panicking. and they're the league champions who've just spent £500 million this summer to improve their squad. I want every team, big team chasing the title when we play them to know they're in a game like they
totally
did.
Agree.
And then I'll start thinking, like, we're getting to that level now. And then the other bit will be beating the teams we should be beating. And okay, there's a clunk in the middle where you'd argue, should we be beating them or not? But we're in with them, and they could go a flip of a coin. And that means we've already, my mind, we've already lost to Leeds, and we shouldn't have done. We should be wiping the floor with Leeds.
Agreed.
We should have beat West Ham and we didn't.
Agreed.
So there's a couple of them. So they'll be the finer margins. But if we start to do that, and we are edging, and we're 8th at the moment, if we're staying around there and doing well, we might have games like Man City, we might lose 2-1, but we're right in it. And you go, you know what? We've done all right there, really. Shoot to recovery. Now, I'm not giving us a pass to go, well, we should be losing to Arsenal, City, but we could, because a lot of teams lose to Arsenal, City, Liverpool, whatever. But we have to be in there fighting, and that'll be a bit of progress, because for me, for 2 or 3 years, we haven't. We might have gone and ground out a result, but we weren't in the game. We got battered. There's no shoot to recovery. There's just a lucky result that you get every now and again.
I agree with all of that, because that's about bringing consistency to performance individually and collectively.
Yeah.
And because the margins in this league, outside of those who can spend £500 million in a couple of months, are quite small, you know. And so if you rock up at Leeds at their gaff, you know, back in the Premier League, and don't turn up for 45 minutes, then you don't have the luxury of still leading, you know what I mean? And I think that the words there about the Anfield thing is, you're right. We left ourselves with too much to do, you know, and sometimes this season we've left ourselves with too much to do because of selection decisions, lack of players actually being on it, confident, whatever. So if consistency of performances come, so will consistency of outcomes. We won't go 5 games without winning, or we won't go so many games without, you know what I mean? Therefore, the points will come along with regularity, which we certainly didn't get with the last fella, who seemed to think, well, we don't bother playing till the last 6 or 7 games so I can be a rescue merchant again, you know? And, you know, and so we want to see regular arrival of points, you know, so many, whatever, you know, I think we talked about it, haven't we? You know, you get 3 points per month, every single month in this division, you probably don't get relegated. And that's all it is, you know? And you will have patches when you win 3 or 4 and then go a couple of draw, whatever.
Of course,
but you're always in the games, and therefore you're always in with the opportunity of getting something out of the games.
Yeah.
And then you strengthen your squad, you turn draws into wit and all that sort of crap. So it's all cliche driven, but it's not, it's best practice, isn't it? You know, and I quote it a lot, the Pep thing, you know, how do you get all these superstars to work hard? Because they don't play unless they work hard, right? So the best teams, and again, you know, when you get coaches in here, you know, and Everton used to have it up, didn't they? You know, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, you know, and and that is in a nutshell, is any player in any Premier League squad who doesn't work hard shouldn't have any surety that they're going to stay employed.
No.
Right?
No.
And last season in particular, whether you call it managers' favourites or whatever, certainly some players knew it didn't matter what they did, they'd still start.
Yeah.
And they all want to start, therefore I'm okay. And when you talk about someone like a DCL or whatever, taking them out the team, sitting them here, giving them a whatever, if you've got a favourite like that, or a player who apparently can stink the house out every week and still get selected, it's not just the impact you have on that individual. No. It's the rest of the team as well.
Sure. You make it. If
who
you
think, I don't have to actually work my socks off in every training session and every match, because this manager might still play me anyway.
Well, we'll still play you anyway.
You know, I'm talking about the players who are observing the player who can do what he wants and start.
No, but that's it. Well, you just start thinking, well, I can't. I'm never going to get him, no matter what I do. So
that's therefore,
what I mean, you make people lose interest. Yeah. You've got a squad of 25 millionaires.
Yeah.
And only 11 of them start.
Yeah.
And therefore the ego of the others is pushed out of joint.
Of course, as it should be.
And therefore they start thinking, well, hang on, well, I need to play. And then you might at best keep 16 of them happy if the 5 subs get enough minutes and the team's successful and they get the win bonus, then they might feel good getting a shower. They've ran around, we've won the game. You still got another 4 lads in your match day squad who aren't happy because they've not got on. And then you've got the 5 who aren't in your match day squad who aren't happy. And therefore, if you're not seen to be someone who's really fair with the players and someone and you don't win, there's a good opportunity there's a good chance the cracks are going to start in the other 14 who aren't starting. This fella doesn't know what the fuck he's on about.
Yeah.
This fella's a knob. And then they start to each other. You should be playing there early. If you're not in the same position, it's an easy one. Why aren't you getting a game? And then why the fuck aren't I playing? This fella's got it in for it. And then the cracks just get bigger because it's difficult.
And then if you lose football matches,
and everyone wants a kick.
Everyone can join in on this is the manager's fault.
And then the agents start leaking it to people, and some agents leak.
Those 5, right? You say don't get involved in the match day squad. It's their behaviour that starts the cycle of all those in quotes above them.
Of course, yeah.
Because while you were talking, I thought I'd be fascinated to know how hard the goalkeepers work in training.
Well, I think they're probably an anomaly.
Yeah,
the goalies. Because they're weirdos anyway.
Yeah,
the
but
goalies,
they know they're not going to play.
And they're not going to play, but they train for themselves.
That's what I mean.
And therefore, it's that discipline.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The discipline is, I work hard every day, and then it's up to the coach. And I had Alan Kelly on Inside the Game. Watch it if you haven't. He's brilliant.
It was
talking
very good,
about
by
the
way.
environment he created as a goalie. Because you've got to push, and you're coming in, and Jordan Pickford's the goalie. You're not playing, are you?
No.
You're not playing. They don't play in Europe, so you're not playing. Tom King, by all accounts, unbelievable fella. Unbelievable professional. Okay, sat on the bench for Wales. He's never playing for Everton. He's third choice. He's only playing for Everton if Travers got an injury and we had a home game
and something
against Tamworth in the FA Cup third round or something, and the manager went, let's give Tom a go. Right now, he might be a very capable goal. He scored a goal a few years ago. Very capable goalkeeper. In fact, he's in the record books for the longest ever goal. Tom King. Yeah.
He's in his 6-yard box or something when he launched it.
But apparently, brilliant trainer, great attitude, fantastic in the dressing room, motive. In fact, Wolves won a game last season, and Pereira said King took the team took, and I think they went away and won 3. It might have been at Leicester or something. They went and won 3-0, but he get the team took to motivate. So obviously a great character and works as hard as anyone. So that's fantastic because they have to have that, and they must also have that anyway. Because if Jordan Pickford's in goal and you're Mark Savage, you ain't playing, are you? You're not playing. I'd love to be Tom King. I'd be walking around with all the Everton gear on, driving. No pressure, have you? You just got to train hard and work hard. He's done brilliant enough to get to that. Of course he has. So I think they're slightly different. Whereas a player, you always feel like you've got a chance of playing.
That's the point. And the reason I brought the goalkeeper thing up, because it's part of their mindset to always work hard. Always do the drills. Then help the guy who's keeping you out the team. Yeah,
to stay on top.
It
takes a special kind of person to do it. I couldn't do it. I'd be openly picking an injury up, or I'd be going when he lets a goal in on the bench. Should he have saved that? Should he have saved that?
And we've all heard it, haven't we? And it's always ex-players, because they're never going to say it when they're playing. No. When he missed that chance, did you think, hey, there's a chance for me to get in now as a consequence? But if you get the team spirit right, which fundamentally is every single player in this squad stands a chance of starting if they convince me as the manager. You've just got to give lads a chance. If Jordan Pickford started rocking up for training late, not really trying very hard, even he'd get replaced. So so you've got to have that professionalism to say, I'll keep doing the very, very best I can, and ultimately, I guess, come a January or come a summer, if I'm not getting anywhere near it, I do want to play. I need to go somewhere else.
You've got to have the desire as well. I mean, I was a terrible sub. I remember one game. I was.
Well, I'm not surprised. Yeah,
I was a terrible sub.
I've seen you, lad.
One game for Aston.
After you.
Yeah, I remember one game for Aston, and I was on the bench, and I just got married, and we had the wedding booked and all that. So we went on honeymoon and missed a couple of games. That's footy, isn't it? Life's more important than football. And I remember coming back and being on, and I was fuming. I was on the bench. I played on the reserve game on the Saturday. scored. We got battered. We playing the kid scored 2. We got battered. And the manager the other side was like, "Why are you playing in this game?" I was like, "I've just got married." Like, yeah. And we had the game. I was on the bench the next game, and we had the lad up front. He wasn't as good. Like, he wasn't as good as me, but he's quick. He was really, really quick. And we had a big lad, centre back actually, who played up front with me in the end. He was Ian. He's like 6'4", boss lad Ian, like great lad. And they both missed chances in the first 20 minutes or something, and I'm like, I'll have to bury that, and then the opposition, so I'm getting beat 2-0, and I'm like, you know, smirking, which is terrible. It was the only real time I'd done it.
Very unprofessional.
It was. And then the second half, they missed another one, and I made a comment, the fucking manager's gone for me. Manager's gone. Like, proper cop on with me. And I'm like, fuck, put me on then, you know, and all that, and he didn't.
Lesson learned.
Stormed out. Well, yeah, I didn't turn up.
How old were you?
3 weeks. I was 24. And turn up for 3 weeks. Till he phoned me, I had to go meet him and have it out.
This is WhatsApp baz, isn't it? Yeah.
It was, because it was terrible. I never did it again. Yeah. And it was embarrassing when I think back. And
you were a prolific goal scorer.
But I knew where the net was. But I wanted to play, and I couldn't understand that. Started, and before I went on my honeymoon, he was like, "We're gonna miss you more." And they lost the games while I was away and everything. But I was fuming that I didn't go straight back in, and I'd played for the reserves on the Saturday. And scored, so I thought I should be back in the team on the for the next one, and I wasn't. And
how many games did you miss while you were having a strop?
5.
So on the 6th game, did he start you?
I come back. We played Warrington away. We lost 2-1. I scored. He started me, on the 6th one.
So he won. You won the battle.
Well, not really, because not really, because
you went off in a strop and he picked you when you come back.
Yeah, but I had to apologise.
Oh, okay.
And I have to apologise to the lads.
Okay.
As well for. It didn't get back to everybody, but I did say I was unprofessional, and I was.
Good.
It was nonsense, really. He was a fucking child. I was like a child.
Petulant.
It was. But I was that disappointed. And I don't mind that in terms of, like, I'd want Everton players not to be laughing when Betto misses a sitter or Barry, whatever. Not that level. But I want people to be driven, that they want to play. And it annoys me and frustrates me that we'll have players, and have had players in the past, where I look and think, are you really bothered you're not playing? Because no one in your position's grabbing the... Like, I'm frustrated with Tierno Barry right now. Because I look and think, aren't you, like, disappointed in yourself that you haven't took it? Like, we've paid 30 million quid for you, and you're not running around like it means everything to you. The same way I'm frustrated with Betto, because I used the evidence from January to May.
As what he's capable of.
And then I've only seen it in flashes this year. It's why I'm talking about Dwight McNeil. How can Dwight McNeil himself think this is all right? He should be going, why aren't I getting on the pitch here? Right, I'm going to make sure that when I wear an Everton shirt, I'm fucking tear-arsing round everywhere. And he's had 2 Carabao Cup games to not, and he hasn't done it. And there's other players, not just Dwight, there's other players, and I've seen it historically from players. You're looking and going, like, how are you getting on the pitch and not doing it? Now, is it just simply they're not capable? No, I don't believe that, because some of them, you look and think, you have had the ability.
But you've had the sports psych.
Lookman.
Yeah.
Ademola Lookman. Oh my God, all the talent. How did he not make it his own? Do you know what I mean? How? And I see with other players, and I'm looking, not at Everton even, I'm just looking like around the Premier League, and you're going, you just seem dead happy to not really play. And I struggle with that. Maybe at 31, 32, you're just happy to be in the squad. But
there's a thing there, isn't there? Because Dwight McNeil, use him as the example, he's what, mid-20s or something?
26 he must be now.
Yeah. And there's a constraint there, right, which needs to be confronted, right, from his self-starting perspective, which is where you're talking. But you would assume that with all these sports psychologists around and all best practice and all that sort of stuff, and the amount of money he costs the club, someone at some stage has put their arm around him, sat down with a cup of tea or whatever, said, where's your head, lad? What's going on? Right? And maybe he's from a a mental health perspective. He's suffering. I was an automatic starter, now I'm not. Well, so you've got to change your mindset then.
Yeah.
And they help him, right? And you've got to assume such a huge investment that clubs do that, right? And then if they still don't change, it's classic, isn't it? Change the people or change the people, right? So maybe if he's had all that help and he just cannot get in the groove, he needs a change. And that's where you start then worrying if you're the club about, are we going to get a return on this investment in the context of it cost us X, okay, we've had what we've had, whatever's been amortized out has gone, and what we got for it was these goals and these sorts of things. Going forward, we don't see that return, therefore we need this amount of money and let him go. And maybe he does need to go with the manager who just seems to be able to control him or whatever, which might be, maybe he just plays
some players
under Dyche sort of thing,
players are more comfortable knowing they're playing every week and therefore can reach their level because they don't need the anxiety of,
am I going to get picked or not?
But I think a lot of players do need that jeopardy to certainly get them in the rhythm.
You would think the very best, whatever that means, thrive on the jeopardy.
But the very best never stop working either.
That's right.
The very best are the very best because they do the extras.
Yeah. That man in Saudi, he was 40-something now, and he's always referenced as a guy who still works harder than anybody else.
Look, I mean, he got 2 again the other night.
Yeah, he's done everything.
Ridiculous.
He's still playing for his country. He'll play in a World Cup. How many bloody World Cups has he played in? But he still keeps doing it. And so if he's in your squad, you just point at him and say, when you're working as hard as he is every single day, maybe you can say that to me.
That's it, isn't it? That's what they like.
Interesting.
No, it blows my mind, and I think, are you giving absolutely everything? When you come on the pitch, you're giving everything. Some players look like they're going through the motions, and you just look and go, just wasting an opportunity. And see it with other. It's not just Everton, by the way. I'm talking.
Yeah, we're talking football in the round.
Football in the round, and you just look and go, look how you're not asked. And it might be that, or it might be some players are just like, I get paid really well. Doesn't really matter.
And you're not confusing, I don't think, because of the way you're explaining it, players who don't kick up a fuss.
No.
Charlie, you're not going to hear him in the media.
But when he comes on, he's everywhere.
That's what I mean. So he comes on and does his talking on the pitch. And there's only 2 pitches you can do. One's the live one at weekends. The other one's the one you're on every day.
Every single day. Yeah.
And you show your enthusiasm, you show your commitment, you show your skill. And then the manager will have to make a decision one day about it.
But each one breeds. When you listen to, like, I don't know, it was a different time. You listen to, I've heard like Neville and Rooney and Roy Keane on the thing talking about when they were, you kick shite out of each other and want to win every game and training. But that meant when you signed as the club, you were like, oh, this is the level I've got to be at. And then you just win things because that drives everything. We didn't win things, but Kale, when he mentions Duncan, took him to one side and showed him what it meant to be an Everton fan and an Everton player and Osman and Alan Stubb. That's what he meant. You're no dickheads here, mate. You come in, you work hard, or you do this, or you stand up for your club, and then they drove the level for the next person, and you got Mikel Arteta, who was a silky Spaniard, the next one working harder than anyone, because Moyes had driven it. Pienaar loved it. He said, Moyes worked us to the bone, and I loved it. Stephen Pienaar's exceptional footballer, and on and on and on, and that drives everything up. And if you can get that going now, and that's what Moyes will be trying to foster that now, and then you put quality into it as well. Look at Klopp at Liverpool. He elevated them, didn't he? He elevated them. He took a squad that had Ricky Lambert and Christian Benteke and people like that in, and they got to 2 finals in his first season. They was shite. Really. They got to 2 finals and finished 8th, didn't pull up any trees, but they got there. Then the next minute, because he demanded that they be better at everything. And he brought quality in, and he took them and put them where they are now. And Pep does it in a different way, but the demands are just... He's almost a fucking nuisance. He's that excessive, isn't he, Guardiola? But he's doing... Arteta is like that as well. He's a bit odd in that, but that's the demand. But they demand that. When you want your team demanding it of each other, and then any players who don't buy in, go.
Yeah.
Go. And then you get the next in. And when you're coming in here, mate, this is what you do. And that's where the likes of Tierno Barry, role. I'll throw Mail and Roll into it. Asnu. Throw Asnu into it because these are lads coming in from a different country into this league, which is unforgiving. They've got to quickly get up to that level. Quickly. What does it mean getting up to that level? Right, I need to do more weights. Then go to Brien. They're all on fucking 2 weeks after they sign, their arms are out. They get put on a creatine and a diet, and we do that, and we have to be strong and powerful. That's what you'd have to be like in this league. If you do that and drive that level up, then Everton will be in a better place. And then when we go to the likes of City in the future, we've got athleticism and the levels higher. We can go and trade.
Yeah. Those 3 weeks you missed, did you go back or did the manager call you?
No, he called me to say, you happy with your decision? And I wasn't.
Okay. So he gave you the opportunity to come back.
To be honest, another team came in for me. Yeah. So I had to be released from there. So I couldn't, if they said no, I wouldn't be able to do anything about it. They had the registration. So we phoned saying, we've had this thing from this club. What do you want to do?
Oh, okay.
So we had a chat, and then I had to go and see him.
Yeah.
And then I had to go and apologise.
Right, because you
wanted to apologise to him.
Because you wanted to
stay. Well, yeah, because I wasn't really in a rush to go anywhere.
No, the reason I ask is because everything you just said, I wholeheartedly agree, and it works in other businesses as well, so to speak, about whether people are pulling their weight or not, fundamentally, right? But when you find someone who's not pulling their weight, a player, and he's a very important player, and you treat that player the same as you would treat the worst player, that is, mate, you've walked off at a strop, you've got to come back, I'm not ringing you, sort of thing. Then that's when you build this thing called team spirit, isn't it? Doesn't matter who you are, how important you are. Let's use Jordan Pickford. If he started taking the piss, he gets dropped. End of. And that's what Guardiola has earned the right to do, isn't it? The biggest player on the planet can be told by him, pull your finger out, mate, or you're not playing. And the player will believe him. And I've had this conversation many times with people about, you don't have to drop these big players. You just have to get them to believe that you would. Yeah. And that's where we have in Moyes a manager who, nothing that you can see in a stat or anything, is confronted with the best player playing the I am, which out of him and say our previous manager are more likely to confront that issue and deal with it. And Moyes, sort of thing. And therefore, someone like Dwight might struggle to come to terms with, it's on me. And it is on him. And Patterson's on him. And anyone else who isn't playing, it's on them. Yeah. And Moyes will just say, come back when when you think I'm not being fair with you. Because guess what? I'm fair with everyone. I'm fair with everyone. Yeah. And if your standard is now below where we are, off you go. Off you go, yeah. That's it.
Nigel Mulgrew says afternoon from
Good afternoon.
Strabane.
Where?
Strabane. I don't know where that is. Where's that, Nigel?
Sounds like it should be.
I reckon it's Scottish, but it could be anywhere.
Could be, but it could be
Australia or
Scandinavia.
Could be anywhere.
Tell us, won't he? So.
Ian says, and correct as well, afternoon all 10 years ago today, we lost our most successful and fantastic manager, Howard Kendall, the gaffer. Absolutely, we did. Chris Davies says, afternoon fellas, some of the questions for Moyes were poor. I mean, asking him about what he thought of City and Pep in recent times. Shouldn't it be focused solely on our club? I do think they always ask about the opposition, because it's, especially if it was Alan for Sky, I don't know whether it was Alan who asked it, but normally Sky have that one question about the opposition, because then on Sky Sports News they can go, David Moyes was asked about Pep, and they can use that little thing, can't they? So I understand why they do it, but...
And often Sky coordinators, so they'll have a man in every press conference asking the same question, and then they get a stream of what all the other managers think about each other. Sort of thing.
Listen, I don't know whether people would ever be happy with press conferences. Because what wasn't asked, what you would have liked to have been asked, other than he's never going to say, I don't think, his role in the squad tomorrow. Now, he might go, we'll have a look at him. But stuff that they don't want to, he's asked about Jack Grealish, if you asked him about the insight to City, and he was like, No, I wouldn't ask players.
Liar.
But I don't believe that. Of course you would. You'd say, is there anything we need to know, or what about that?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's asked him. He's never gonna, but he might not have done. But what I mean is, even if he spent 2 hours with Jack Grealish on the ins and outs of Man City, he's never gonna say that.
No, of course not.
Because why would you? Same as when they go, have you thought about playing a different formation for this game? Well, he might have done. He's never gonna go, yeah, we thought about playing 3 at the back, and then so I always find.
I have some sympathy, see if you do, because we played this at the summer series, right?
Of course, yeah.
That journalists who are in the presses every single week, they must have a big list of questions. They know there's no point asking because he won't answer them. And maybe we as an audience need to recognise that, actually thinking, what can I ask that hasn't already been asked? And he will answer. And
the other thing as well, right? This is the other thing. And again, I know I was utterly fantastic in those press conferences in the summer. No, this is the other thing. Like, when I was asking...
You've been with Ped too long.
I was... Jay, just do that TV, mate, please. Before it goes on. No, what I was going to say was, people were like quite happy with what we did in the press conference. Yeah. But what you got to remember is, I'm an Evertonian.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm going to ask questions from an Evertonian perspective about what I want to know. These journalists who are in there are not... They're not Evertonians. Or if they are, they're still working for an entity that might want different style questions asked.
True.
So it is. Listen, I'm not giving them a pass, because sometimes you go, how have you not asked about this, or this? I'm not sure today. I thought, why haven't they asked that? Other than, is Michael Keane fit? Which I probably would have said. He came off against Crystal Palace, how's he looking? Or any other injury news, or you know what I mean? I know Alan sort of said any other team news, so he might have said that, but I would have put him on the spot over Michael Keane.
Yeah.
And said, is he fit? Because he came off against Crystal Palace. Trying to think, was there anything else?
Not really.
Really, that we could have looked for. So it's difficult. I think someone might go, he asked every question I wanted to be asked, and you might get 10 others going, they didn't ask half the questions I'd have liked asking. So it is a tricky one, is what I'm trying to say. Justin says, what points total at Christmas would you expect from Everton?
How many games are left to Christmas?
It's probably at least 10, isn't it?
Yeah.
If we're saying January's halfway,
yeah,
say there's 10. Just say it's 10. There might be 12, but just say it's 10 for now.
So say 16.
So we're on. So you'd want 16 more points.
No. We've
got 11 at the moment.
It would be 16 games.
It'll be 17 games.
17 games. And how many have we played?
7.
7.
That 10 is 17.
Yeah.
So we've got 11 points from 7. So from the next 10, where you go, you know
over
what?
25.
Done all right. Yeah, I was going to say, the aim 25. For me should be 17 points from the next 10 games. That'd give us 28 points, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So that you're the 55.
25 to 30, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Really. So that's what we should be looking for. Will we get it? There's some tough games in there, so who knows. But listen, we only need 2 more wins to have equal the points total that we had in January last year. So at least 2 more wins.
You want to be above that line?
I'd say I want to be at the very least, I'd say 25 points at Christmas. So 14 more points. Just win the next 5 and you've done it.
Job done.
It's the way to look at it.
Have Christmas off.
Mark says,
over 25 points.
I hope for once we go for it with none of this parking the bus. So, Mark, if we did go for it and lost 5-0, would you cry? As in, would you be like, the disgrace? Because you do have to, let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? And I'm not being defeatist, but these are a very, very good team. And I just feel like sometimes we come across a little bit arrogant, as if we can beat anyone. And while that can be true, teams can win anywhere on any given day. You do have to also have a game plan with respect for some teams. Doesn't mean Everton can't go up and beat them. But I just think, me personally, I don't believe we can trade toe for toe with Manchester City. And then we get absolutely picked off. And they've got this big 6'5" Viking up front who makes scoring goals look like the easiest thing in the world. So we have to be mindful of them. Doesn't mean we can't have a good game plan and we need to execute it. But I'm not convinced right now we have got the players to trade with Manchester City.
Now, I also, just to agree with that, don't think we can park the bus either. I know it's a subjective statement because what does it mean? And maybe to me it means, you know, we're never fit. We're 20 yards from our goal line, and all our players fundamentally are defenders. Right?
Well, Crystal Palace in the second half at Hill Dickinson had everyone behind the ball all the time, and then they had all the times.
I know what you mean.
But the last half an hour, when Mateta missed that chance that he should have buried, the one he put wide. After that, they had every man behind the ball. Villa come and played every man behind the ball for the whole 95 minutes. So
that's your parking the bus.
Villa coming and looking at Everton surely should have been thinking, we've been a bit crap, but we can beat Everton. You know, we're finishing the places way above Everton. They didn't. They come and went, these are actually all right. We've got to be careful. So you have to have that. Parking the bus to me was what Dykes did, was just stick some version of it. That means everyone gets in. You block off the passing lanes. You make it very difficult to play through you.
Agreed.
And then when you break, you spring it quickly.
Yeah.
Now, springing it quickly for us isn't Adama Traore quick. It's being patient, but it's being making sure that when we break, we have people who can get on the end of stuff. So that, I think, we'll have to do it.
But we're agreed we're not going to park the bus.
I don't think we'll park the bus, but I do think we're not going to go full Harambe, which literally, 11% possession, I don't think. But we are playing a very good team who might just mean we can't get the ball off them.
That's different.
But they're a very good team. So, but I think we'll carry a threat. Good. I think we've got some players who mean we can, but it is what it is, isn't it? If we go and beat 3-0 tomorrow, but we're at Christmas, we're sat here, we got 25, 26 points, job done, isn't it?
Totally.
So,
got to stay above that gain line that we've charted.
That's it, isn't it?
We should put that chart up every now and again, yeah.
Josh said it was nice to hear Alan Myers at the press conference. Moyes seemed happy to answer his questions. He did. Daniel says I'd start Ndiaye on the right, Dewsbury all on the left, and Alcaraz in the middle behind Betto. Correct.
Yeah.
Ian the Blue says gravel voice cursed Pato. Maybe he did. Maybe the slap cursed him. No, we had nothing from Moyes on Keane, Jay.
No.
Yeah, and if he's not fit, it'll be O'Brien and probably Coleman at right back, wouldn't it? That's what I'd imagine it'd be. Jake says Patterson played for the 21, scored an own goal, doesn't stand out and gets injured. Great. Blue Keeley says, has the Ped interview on Sky been fixed? Because couldn't hear half the video because of music.
That was all Ped, that wasn't my doing.
Yeah, Ped done that, there was no one else, so don't know.
I had no involvement, but all the comments were blaming me.
Well, James got blamed, even though he was nothing to do with it.
Well, when I watched it yesterday evening...
Had no music on. That's what Ped must have fixed it. Daniel says, I'm gutted this season, should have beaten Villa and West Ham. Maybe nicked the point at Anfield because we're playing better football than last year. Yeah, but then you could argue we shouldn't have beat Crystal Palace, couldn't you? Yeah. Really, that's a way that you can look at it, can't you, I suppose? I'm with you, by the way, we could have had more points, but Derek says so many players have double barrel names. Maybe he should change his name to Patterson injured.
Oh dear.
Bit harsh on Nate.
Very.
I don't think any player wants to be injured.
No.
Really. Let's be honest. I think he's just, for whatever reason, something's happened. Feels like he's. If I'm him, I'm feeling like I've been cursed.
Yeah.
Because it's just not happened for him, has it? Ian Murphy says I'd settle for a draw, but if we scored at 1-1, whether it be a goal from Dewsbury or's left toe or Michael Keane's head, I'd be ecstatic. Yeah. Where are we here? Semi-charm life says no one's employing, you shouldn't have mindful tactics. But stop being afraid of everything. I'm not afraid of any team Everton face, but I also am objective enough to be able to look and go, they are a very good team. The wrong mentality, Baz, fair play, win them. I just don't think you'd understand them, what I say, mate, but that's fine. I have no problem. if you can't understand what I mean. No issue whatsoever. Having a mentality that is, we'll beat anyone. Saw this, and I called it out on the day of the Leeds game when I saw 3 or 4-0 win tonight, 3 or 4-0 win.
Nah.
And then we went and got beat. Weird. But we win the game tomorrow? 100% we can win. But they are a good team. Do you know what I mean? As much as we can win the game tomorrow, we could get beat 4-0 and not touch the ball. So that's football, isn't it? Everton, I hope, become a team over the next couple of years where I'm going, can't wait. We'll go there. Can't not wait till tomorrow, because we will go there and we'll deliver. Do I feel like that right now? No, but it wouldn't surprise me if Everton drew 1-1 tomorrow. Not in the slightest.
Does it surprise you that I've got Man City fans who are mates?
No.
Does it surprise you then that whenever I say to them, surely you go the game expecting to win, and they go, no.
That does surprise me, given how successful and good.
And then you have a very provocative conversation with them, and the 2 or 3 I'm thinking of will not allow themselves to say, I go the game expecting to win.
If I was good if Everton were as good as they've been, I'd be expecting us to wipe the floor with Everton tomorrow.
But these are...
Me personally, without Jack Grealish. I know.
These are Man City fans who've been Man City fans for a very, very long time, right? And maybe they've just got it stuck in there, you know. Also, that's Everton, they've got that's City, that sort of thing. So I think it's part of a respect-based thing, which is you do not go to a football match and expect your team to just turn them over. And maybe that is why these fans in particular will always be passionate, will always have high standards, or always... They will tell me happily how bad they are when I'm thinking, you're second in the league, you know, you've just battered, you know, whatever. Oh, we're awful, though.
Yeah.
No, when you got the Reds, they would never behave like that. You know what I mean? Their fans always just think every game they play amazing and they win. And City fans still have that nag of how... So they remember how lucky they are.
But that's it, isn't it? It's
as a fan base.
It is. I just think when you're looking at a game, I think you have to assess the whole game.
Yeah.
I think you have to look and be realistic. That doesn't mean not seeing that your team can win.
Absolutely.
I'm amazed that that's been levelled at me, that mentality thing.
No, it's weird.
I get talked at for being too optimistic. I also look at it analytically, and I believe I'm the one championing Everton to be winning leagues. That's what we should be going for. None of this nonsense. This is why it wound me up to death when people were thankful to Sean Dyche for dumbing us down. Everton should be trying to win the league. That should be Everton's aim. Can Everton win the league with this squad? Not a chance on earth.
You've said it now.
They can't. They can't.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
They can't, because they're already... You're on that thing, aren't you? You've got to be consistent. We had a goal scorer, then you start going, you know, just hang on in there like Forrest did.
I have gone to away games, Baz, on my own in recent years, a long way, expecting to lose. But you still go.
Of course.
And you still expect individual performances when you're in the ground. You know, players can't go, oh, we're going to lose, because they will.
It's a game of footy. Again, that's never...
And if they rock up as a team, City, as good as they are, as good as their manager is, and the whole club just expects to win, then they won't perform as good as they can, and therefore they might not. And this is why, particularly in cup games, you always get the giant killer thing, don't you?
Of course, yeah.
Every single player on the lower league team plays at above and beyond what he's ever shown before, and they win. You know, sort of thing, and they can't repeat it often. So there's nothing wrong with being pragmatic. There's nothing wrong with being honest with yourself, because that should turn into the motivation to be the very best version of yourself that you can possibly be, because anything less just increases, not just the likelihood of losing, but how many you lose by.
I'll be kicking off. When we kick off tomorrow, I'll believe we'll win the game.
Do you so?
Right?
Because you wouldn't go.
Now it could be 3-0 down after 20 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck, these are good. That'll be me caveat, but these are a good side. But I'll still be looking, thinking, stay in the game, stay in the game, stay in the game. Then opportunities present themselves. These have been done 3-0 by Spurs. Now, okay, they battered Spurs. And Spurs had one of them days. They got gifted the goal. They took the chances when they come along. And that's what Everton will have to do.
You started this whole streamy thing with stay in the game.
Yeah, that's all it's about.
You know, and managers famously, I'm sure they use it all the time, particularly at half-time, which is, we're still in this with 15 to 20 to go. Anything can happen.
Of course.
So do all your effort.
We could have won last year there, and we were terrible, and we had a terrible manager.
Stick to the plan. Continue to work hard. Do that. If we're still in this with 15 to 20 to go, and this ground starts emptying, because it will, yeah, anything can happen. And there you go.
But let's see. Alex just quickly says, it was great to meet you and Teresa at the Palace game, John. Some interesting conversation with Teresa. You called it 2-1.
Yeah.
Just tomorrow.
Yeah.
There you go. Why not?
Nice to see you as well, mate. Yeah.
Go to City, beat them. Everyone will be buzzing, won't they?
Oh, then we'll be battering Tottenham in the next home game.
Of course. And then going to Sunderland away, isn't it, on the Monday night?
That's a big game, that.
Beat them, beat Fulham, have a break, come back, smash United, and then we'll be on for the league. We are in a title race, I said it the other day.
Yeah.
We're back in the title race with that win against Palace. So, you know, thankfully Liverpool lost and all that. So we're now in the title race. Our nearest
competitors.
That's it. So come on.
Because emphatically, Liverpool are, factually, our nearest competitors.
So let's go and do it.
Let's do it, indeed.
Right, we've done loads of time here, so we can apologise for being late, but you've had it back in spades. It's 3:20. Oh. There you go. Like, subscribe, do all that. There's a video out at 5 o'clock. Watch it, please. Just go and watch it. Leave a comment. Very important subject. It's out on. It'll be on YouTube at 5. Take it easy. See you later. Bye.